Hi, this is the third video in the series for calculation of new profit sharing ratio and sacrificing ratio on admission of a partner. Let's go to example 9. Example 9. P and Q are partners in a firm sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3:2. They admit R as a new partner. R gets 1/4 of his share from P and 3/16 share from Q. We are asked to calculate the new profit sharing ratio and sacrificing ratio. As per the problem, the old profit sharing ratio between P and Q is equal to 3:2. Now the third sentence says R, who is the new partner, gets 1/4 of his share from P and 3/16 share from Q. Let's assume that the share of R be equal to X. So we can form the equation the share of R is equal to the sacrifice of P plus the sacrifice of Q. In other words, X is equal to sacrifice of P. He gets 1/4 of his share from P. So 1/4 X is the sacrifice of P and 3/16 share from Q. So the sacrifice of Q is 3/16. On equating this, (16x minus 4x) is 3. So 12x is 3, or x is equal to 3 divided by 12, or 1/4. So the share of R is 1/4. The sacrifice of P is 1/4 of R share, which is 1/4. So sacrifice of P is 1/16. To get the new share of P, we'll apply old share minus the sacrifice. Old share is 3/5 minus the sacrifice 1/16. (43 divided by 80). The new share of Q, old share of Q, 2/5 minus the sacrifice of Q is 3/16. Which is equal to 17 divided by 80. Therefore, NPSR between P, Q and R is equal to 43 divided by 80 is to 17 divided by 80 is to 1 divided by 4, or 43 is to 17 is to 20. This is the NPSR between P, Q and R, whereas the sacrifice ratio is the sacrifice of P is to sacrifice of Q. Sacrifice of P is 1 by 16 is to sacrifice of Q is 3 by 16, or 1 is to 3. So this is the sacrifice ratio between P and Q. Let's summarize this. New profit sharing ratio between P, Q and R is equal to 43 is to 17 is to 20, and the sacrifice ratio between P and Q is equal to 1 is to 3. So in this sum, we have to assume that the new partner share, that is our share, is X or any other variable. Let's go to the next problem. Example 10. A and B are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 7:3. They admit C as a new partner for 3/7 share in profits, which he acquires 2/7 from A and 1/7 from B. Let's solve the problem. As given in the problem, old profit sharing ratio between A and B is equal to 7:3. New share of partner C is equal to 3/7. As per the problem, sacrifice of A, it says C acquires 2/7 from A. So sacrifice of A is 2/7, and sacrifice of partner B is 1/7. To get the new share, we'll apply the formulae. New share is equal to old share minus the sacrifice. Therefore, new share of partner A is equal to old share 7/10 minus the sacrifice of A, which is 2/7. Comes up to 29 divided by 70. Similarly, new share of partner B is equal to old share 3/10 minus sacrifice of B, which is 1/7, which comes up to 11 divided by 70. The new share of C as per the problem is 3/7, which can be written as 30 divided by 70. Therefore, NPSR between A, B and C is equal to 29 divided by 70 is to 11 divided by 70 is to 30 divided by 70, or 29 is to 11 is to 30. Now let's get the sacrifice ratio between A and B. It's the ratio of the sacrifice of A, which is 2 by 7, is to the sacrifice of B, which is 1 by 7, which can be simplified to 2 is to 1. So the NPSR between A, B and C is 29 is to 11 is to 30, and the sacrifice ratio between A and B is 2 is to 1. So let's summarize this. NPSR between A, B and C is equal to 29 is to 11 is to 30, and the sacrifice ratio between A and B is equal to 2 is to 1. So this problem was relatively direct. The sacrifice of A and the sacrifice of B was given. So we just had to apply old share minus sacrifice to get the new share. Let's go to the next example. Example 11. L and M are partners in a firm, sharing profits in the ratio of 5 is to 3. They admit N as a new partner and decide that the profit sharing ratio between M and N shall be the same as existing between L and M. We are asked to calculate the new profit sharing ratio and the sacrificing ratio. So let's go ahead with the solution. In the problem, it's given that the old profit sharing ratio between partner L and partner M is equal to 5 is to 3. Further, N is the new partner. Also, it's given that the profit sharing ratio between M and N shall be the same as existing between L and M. So we have that the profit sharing ratio between M and N should be the same as the ratio between L and M, which is 5 is to 3. So based on this, we can use the unitary method to find out N share. So we have partner M and partner N. We understand that if M has 5, N should have 3, because the profit sharing ratio between M and N should be equal to that of L and M, which is 5 is to 3. However, as per the problem, M has 3. Hence, how much is N? So we get that N's share is equal to 3 multiplied by 3 divided by 5, or in other words 9 divided by 5. I'll repeat, we can use the unitary method to find out N share. We will begin by saying if M was 5, N has to be 3 based on the information which is given in the question. However, the actual value of M is 3, then N share should be 3 into 3 divided by 5, or in other words 9 divided by 5. Hence, we get that the new profit sharing ratio between L, M and N is equal to 5 is to 3 is to 9 divided by 5. And this can be written as 25 is to 15 is to 9. So this is the new profit sharing ratio. We are also asked to calculate the sacrificing ratio. So let's do old share minus the new share. A positive figure will imply a sacrifice, whereas a negative figure will imply a gain. In the case of partner L, the old share is 5 divided by 8 minus the new share, it's 25 divided by 49. LCM 392. On subtracting, we get 45 divided by 392. It's a positive figure, so L has sacrificed. Let's do the same thing for partner M. For partner M, old share 3 divided by 8 minus the new share 15 divided by 49. LCM is 392. 147 minus 120 is equal to 27 divided by 392. M has also sacrificed. Hence, the sacrificing ratio between L and M is equal to 45 divided by 392 is to 27 divided by 392, or in other words, 45 is to 27, which can be further simplified as 5 is to 3. So this is the sacrificing ratio between L and M, and the new profit sharing ratio is 25 is to 15 is to 9. So let's summarize this. New profit sharing ratio between L, M and N is equal to 25 is to 15 is to 9, and the sacrifice ratio between L and M is equal to 5 is to 3. Let's go to the example 12. Example 12. A and B are partners sharing profits and losses in the ratio of 3 is to 2. They admit C for 1/5 share in profit. C acquires 1/5 of his share from A and 4/5 share from B. Calculate the new profit sharing ratio and sacrificing ratio. Solution. Old profit sharing ratio between A and B is given in the problem as 3 is to 2. The new share of the new partner C is given as 1/5. It's given that C acquires 1/5 of his share from A. So, sacrifice of partner A is equal to 1/5 of C's share. In other words, it's 1/5 multiplied by 1/5 or 1/25. Similarly, sacrifice of partner B says C acquires 4/5 of his share from B. So sacrifice of B is 4 by 5 of C share, or 4 by 5 multiplied by C share 1 by 5, or 4 by 25. Therefore, the sacrifice ratio between A and B, sacrifice of A, which is 1 divided by 25, is to the sacrifice of B, which is 4 divided by 25, which comes up to 1 is to 4. Let's get the new share of A by applying the formulae. Old share minus the sacrifice. Old share of A is 3 by 5 minus the sacrifice of A is 1 by 25. We get 14 divided by 25. New share of partner B is equal to old share of B minus the sacrifice of B, which is 4 by 25. And this is equal to 6 divided by 25. The new share of C, which is equal to 1 by 5, can be written as 5 divided by 25. Therefore, the NPSR between A is to B is to C is equal to 14 divided by 25 is to 6 divided by 25 is to 5 divided by 25. In other words, it's 14 is to 6 is to 5. So we have the NPSR between A, B and C as 14 is to 6 is to 5, and the sacrifice ratio between A and B as 1 is to 4. Let's summarize. New profit sharing ratio between A, B and C is equal to 14 is to 6 is to 5, and sacrifice ratio between A and B is equal to 1 is to 4.